Hi everyone, my name is Garnette O'Connell. My adventures that happen, I finally know someone who can get those into books. Her name is Allison. I've always wanted to get my adventures written in books, and now that I know Allison, she can do that for me. She's going to be doing a book reading. It's part of a series called The Adventures of a Mermaid, and the book she's reading this time is called The Rat Prophecy.
This is part 3. Welcome everyone, I am the Esperanza243. I am so excited that I'm still doing this book. This is the Rat Prophecy, of course. This is the sequel to Aquatica. This is part of a collection that I call The Adventures of a Mermaid. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that title for the collection. I'm not positive, but it's the best one I have so far. So right now I'm just going to stick with it. Anyways, I'm just doing this video for, I'm hoping I can get this particular video up on Wednesday. If not, it's going to be Thursday. Because seriously, this video should have been up last week. But I was behind on everything because of the internet being down. If you do not follow me on Twitter, or on my Facebook page, I'm going to go ahead and catch you up real quick. Just because I want to go ahead and start talking about what happened in the previous video, because it's been a long time. So what happened was, I was switching apartments in the same building. This is a 15-story building, and it's getting renovated. They're trying to cut down the time from 2 years to 1 year. So, and apparently they didn't have enough money to renovate the entire building. They're only renovating the 40 worst apartments, which I think is stupid, but okay. Anyways, because it's a 15-story building that's owned by the government, we're allowed 2 elevators, which is sweet, but 1 elevator is down because they're repairing the entire thing. They're getting a new elevator for it. So we only have 1 working elevator. This past week, our available elevator has been down 3 times. Freaking fire hazard. Anyways, so I actually had trouble getting the internet to work because I had forgotten to call ahead to the company that provides my internet and my phone. I forgot to call ahead and tell them that I need it switched. It took them a week to figure out what was going on. Let's go ahead and start talking about the book because I'm trying to limit, again, as I said in the video that's coming up on Friday or Saturday, that I'm trying to control how much I talk before talking about the book. Anyways, so what happened in the previous video of the Rat Prophecy was kind of a bit of a crunch of what was going on in the first video. What happened, I mean, we're basically like getting to know Garnette all over again, except this is after she became a mermaid. She's trying to get used to living on land as well as the ocean. Because she's living 2 worlds, she has to get used to that, you see. So in this book, she has to figure out if she wants to, she has to figure out how to balance those 2. Because she thought she did have a balance. But something is going to happen in this book to make that change. And we're about to see that, I think, in this video. I'm not quite positive, because I didn't really look ahead in the pages of that I'm going to read. Therefore, that's why I have a pen in my hand every time I do a book reading for you guys, because I'm always changing things. I'm a writer, it's what I do, but I'm not supposed to do it, but it's what I do. Anyways, so in the previous video, like, she is telling these 2 guys in the amusement park of what's going on with the Ferris wheel, and everything settles down. She gets to, and so she and she and Kelly go to the dolphins area to thank those dolphins for alerting the animals to help out. And she gets wet. Kelly shoves the dolphin trainer into a locked room locked from the outside, I should say. And so she gets Garnette dry. They rush to their house so that Garnette can get in the pool before the moon comes out, because Once the moon comes out, her tail instantly appears. She has no choice but to find somewhere where she can sleep in the water, because otherwise, if it's dry, kind of an awkward situation. We ended it with Garnette talking to her cousin, Marion. I introduced Marion. I brought Marion back in the book, back in the sequel, which is pretty cool. She's actually kind of important in this book, her cousin Marion. Anyways, I ended the video with, her and Marion meeting at this place called The Dancers. It's kind of like a club/restaurant. So, we'll see what happens. They put their shells down and got ready. Garnette made sure she didn't leave without a shell, though. She couldn't be certain if someone from Aquatica would contact her. In fact, she hadn't called Ezra in a while. At that moment, Kelly and Jesse had arrived. They were looking around inside their church. They had decided to use a non-denominational church. They didn't care much for certain religions. For there to be a plethora amount of churches in non-denominational Christianity, the happy couple chose carefully. They found the perfect one, too. It wasn't too big or too small. They couldn't stop admiring the place before planning on the design. Maybe the flowers could be linked at the end of each row. You know, kind of like a barrier. That way people will have to walk the middle path in order to get in. She glanced at her fiancé. That sounds good. What kind of flowers should they be? Daisies, roses, orchids, irises, carnations, lilies, tulips. Geez, there are so many kinds. She giggled. Kelly hugged him and sighed. Daisies, lilies, and iris. The rest you mentioned can go in my bouquet. He smiled. My princess, you deserve a red carpet for your walk down the aisle. Oh, Jessie, cut it out. My heart is already yours. She pulled away to see his face. Kelly saw his smiling lips. They leaned toward each other, but they were interrupted before they could kiss. Hey, no kissing till din-din goes the wedding bells, a young man called out. The voice echoed throughout the church. The couple turned toward the best man. Jesse laughed when he recognized who it was. His friend came closer toward him. Jackson, my man! What are you doing here? You mean best man? He giggled. Just wanted to make sure everything goes smoothly. You never know what can happen in 2 months. Nothing bad will happen. I won't let it. Ow! That's my macho man. Jackson laughed. So what have you two come up with? We were thinking Serena's setup should be over there near the organ piano, and a trellis covered with flowers between the seats and the stairs that will lead to the altar. Nice. With what flowers? That would be roses and carnations, Kelly said with a smile. Of course, my maid of honor won't arrive for another week, so we have time to plan everything else that doesn't require her. Except for your bachelorette party. And when will that be? Jesse gave him a look. He didn't seem happy to hear him bringing that up. Oh, come on. Jesse and I aren't doing that. We are not traditionalists. She suddenly thought of Garnette. She couldn't wait for her to come to the wedding. If only the 2 months would hurry to pass. Kelly looked at her fiancé. He caught her glance and cocked his head. What's on your mind, Kelly? I just wish the month was gone already. Garnette is gonna love this wedding as much as we will. He smiled. I wonder what she's doing. Garnette was in fact standing in front of the dancers, waiting for her cousin to arrive. She became excited to finally see what the inside looked like. The club looked simple on the outside. Big blocks of red neon lights spelling out the club's name, different streamers falling from each letter, and an open sign flashing with different neon colors. The two-legged mermaid finally saw her cousin walking across the street. Marion hurried toward her. Sorry it took me so long. I couldn't find a parking spot. It's okay. I got to watch all sorts of people go inside. You wouldn't believe who I saw. Marion grew curious. Who? Chef Jerry in the flesh. Her cousin's eyes widened. The executive chef. Are you serious? She paused excitedly. Well, then let's go. What are we waiting for? The cousins excitedly went inside. They couldn't believe their eyes when they entered the dance club. It was spectacular. It seemed like every color ever made, ever discovered, had been used. The club appeared exotic, foreign, and magnificent. Yeah, I didn't know how to put everything in words. Sorry, guys. Whoa! The cousins chorused. Jessie wasn't kidding, Garnette whispered. Mary, look at the details. Can you believe it? I feel like I'm in some other country. Me too. Marion glanced around. Come on, let's go find a table. They sat close to the middle, where it was wide and spacious. Music then played. Marion grew curious once more. Where's that coming from? Women came from different directions. Some of them vocalized with the music. Garnette and her cousin watched the belly dancers dance away, even after they ordered their food. Some women belly danced in the center, while others moved in between tables. Garnette noticed one of the belly dancers was moving more gracefully. She could tell by the way Ariel moved her arms and legs. She figured that had to be one of Jessie's friends. Ariel smoothly moved around the tables and back towards her. Garnette tried her best to catch Ariel's eye. As the music faded away, so did the belly dancing women. They moved smoothly and gracefully back to their entrances and laughed. Did you see that woman? Garnette asked Marion. The one with the red and green lei. Oh, she looked so graceful. Her cousin giggled. They're all graceful, Nettie. But this one must be who Jessie was talking about. She almost looked like a ballerina. She sighed happily. At least eat some of your food. It's been sitting in front of you for 20 minutes. It's getting cold. Garnette giggled. You sound like Aunt Kaylee and a chef. She gasped. Oh, how is cooking school, by the way? Is it what you dreamed? Oh, goodness. That and sometimes less. Every day. She groaned. Some of my teachers are so harsh. It seems like even a stingray wouldn't stop them from correcting us. It's driving me nuts. Garnette giggled again. I could ask a stingray to test your theory if you want. I'd rather you not. She rubbed her forehead. They would try to blame it on me more than anyone else. What? Why? Because every time I try to correct them about some of the sea creatures, they ask how I know so much. It's getting harder every time, Nettie. I don't know how I'm going to keep your secret forever. They thought for a while. But when Marion's cousin came up with an idea, the graceful woman she spotted earlier came up to her. Excuse me, Ariel spoke. Garnette turned her head and glanced at her. She gasped excitedly. I was wondering, why were you getting my attention? I have never seen you before. No, but you know one of my friends, Jessie. Jessie Hunter? Oh, yes, he is quite a friend. Always finds a way to put a smile on your face. Has he told you he's getting married? Garnette asked happily. Yes! It's so about time. He and Kelly have known each other for years. He finally popped the question on Father's Day. You can imagine how excited her family was, especially her dad. They are the perfect couple. Oh, they are. I don't think I've seen them quarrel at all. She paused for a moment and scoffed. Where are my manners? I'm Ariel, by the way. Ariel Puckett. Nice to meet you. I'm Garnette O'Connell. Oh! Ariel gasped. Jessie told me about you. Finally checking out the place, huh? We need some more feet on the dancing floor. I don't see how. All of you are so good.
I don't know if I can dance like that.
It's easy. She took Garnette by the wrist and pulled her.
Wait,
she whispered hotly. Ariel took her to the center. She suddenly grew uncomfortable. She groaned.
Everyone's looking,
she whispered. Look at me. Don't worry. Garnette looked at her.
Take a deep breath. Now let it out slowly.
She breathed out the gulp of air she took.
Watch what I do.
Ariel slowly moved her knees back and forth.
This is simple. You're just moving your knees back and forth, see? Doing that makes your hips move sideways. Now I move them a little faster.
Her knees bounced a bit faster than before.
See what happens? My knees cause my hips to do a shimmy. It looks like a shimmy, but then you add your core muscles.
Ariel added the next move. Garnette giggled.
You look like a sea creature,
she said, being careful with her wording.
Exactly!
She stopped dancing to face her. It's almost like being part of this ocean. You do swim right.
All the time. It's my life,
she said with a wry smile.
Then you should be great at this. Come on, give it a try. Well, okay then.
Garnette tried to follow what she showed her. Ariel danced along with her. She was a fast learner, so it was no surprise when her dancing looked more like belly dancing.
Hey, you got it,
Ariel praised.
Now imagine the sea moving your arms as you dance. Let it flow through you.
She did so. Her arms moved gracefully as her belly circled back and forth like it should.
You are a natural.
Ariel couldn't help herself from observing her new friend and possible coworker. She noticed she had 2 hair colors, red and brown.
Garnette?
Garnette stopped dancing to look at her.
What? I'm curious. Are those red highlights?
Garnette gulped and shifted uncomfortably.
Well, you see...
That's when she realized something.
Hey, wait a sec. Is that...
Without warning, a waiter accidentally bumped into one of them. Water from its plastic jug spilled all over Garnette's back. She gasped.
Oh my gosh, are you alright? Let me help.
Ariel rushed.
No! Where's the bathroom?
The graceful woman quickly led her where it was. She came in with her. She was about to grab paper towels. Ariel gasped when light as bright as the moon shined in place of Garnette's legs.
I knew it,
she whispered. She glanced at Garnette. The mermaid suddenly plopped onto the ground. Ariel made a face as she hissed.
Oh, let me help. No, leave me alone. You're not supposed to know.
The woman walked to the door and locked it.
What are you doing? Shh, be quiet, she whispered. I'm only locking it so no one will interrupt us. We don't want them to know that there are 2 of us, let alone 1. What?
Her eyes widened with shock. Ariel turned a faucet on and let a few drops of water on her hand. The same mermaid effect happened to her. She plopped to the ground next to Garnette.
Wow.
It stayed quiet for a full minute. Say something. This awkward silence is too weird.
Well, I don't know. A mermaid, ballerina, and belly dancer? How do you balance all of that? It took a long time. I've had to figure it out on my own since I was a kid. Since you were a kid?
Garnette stared at her with wide eyes.
Yeah. I figured everyone became a mer person when she, or he, was born. You weren't? No, I wasn't. I'm a descendant of a mermaid. My mom didn't become a mermaid until a few months after she had me, but...
She shook her head and sighed.
I became a mermaid 2 months ago.
Garnette paused.
There are times when I can handle it, but I still don't have everything figured out.
2 months? Wow. Garnette giggled.
I find it ironic that your name is Ariel. What?
Her brows narrowed. Then she remembered.
Oh, right. I always forget that. Very few people know about this tale. The ones that do, they like to make fun of me and my name.
Garnette chortled. Even before I became a mermaid, my cousin gave me the nickname Little Mermaid because of all the swimming I do. As Ariel giggled, she paused.
I miss my school and my friends. I sometimes wonder what I would be doing now if I didn't jump in the ocean on the first sunset.
Ariel's brows narrowed in confusion.
What do you mean?
They suddenly heard a knock on the bathroom door. Ariel, come on. You need to change again.
Coming, Leah!
She called, recognizing the voice. She looked at the princess.
We should meet later on. Yeah, we'll meet at the main beach before going to Aquatica.
Aquatica? Don't you mean Atlantica? Garnette stared at her with wide eyes.
What?
You're kidding me, right? You've been a mermaid how many years and you have never been to our birthright? She scoffed with a laugh.
You have no idea how much you're missing out on.
She grinned.
Me and my mom are distant relatives to the king. Are you serious?
Garnette nodded her head. That's when they heard music playing. Ariel turned her head toward it.
Uh-oh, I'm supposed to be out there.
She stretched out her hand over her tail. Steam appeared, going away from her body. Her legs and clothes came back a second later.
You're going to feel a bit of a sting.
She did the same for her friend, a stretched out hand over her tail.
Ow!
She whispered. The same thing happened. Steam appeared as heat separated the water from her tail. Her legs and clothes were back. Garnette looked astonished.
How'd you do that?
I know a few things you don't. Ariel stood to unlock the door.
Come on, I gotta get out there.
They hurried out of the bathroom. She went to change her into her dance clothes while her friend looked for Marion. Garnette found her at a different table. She was talking to Chef Jerry. And that is actually where I'm gonna have to stop, everyone. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. Oh my gosh. So, oh man. So, I suppose that will have to be it. Next video should be Friday or Saturday. I'm not entirely positive, but I do know this particular video should be up on Wednesday. If not, shame on me. Anyways, next week the video will be The Rap Prophecy Part 4. That is if I can get the printer hooked up to my computer. Oh, grief. Trouble after trouble after trouble. When will it stop? Anyways, I will see you all in the next video. I am the Esperanza 243, signing out. Bye, everyone.